Hello fashion lovers, here welcome back to my channel. Trust you're good, trust you're doing well. In today's video we are going to be learning how to draft a queen Anne neckline. If it is something you want to learn, keep watching this video. If you're new here, you're highly welcome. Kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you all for being here. Let's get started. This is my pattern paper that I'm going to be using for this queen Anne neckline. I've gone ahead to mark my shoulder slope and the armhole, and this line here is ½ inch for my zipper allowance. This is my zipper allowance of ½ inch. You know, you can use any sewing allowance for your zipper, 1, 2 inches, ½ inch, depending on what you want. This is the back part, so I'm going to write back, and this is the front part. I'm going to write front. This is the starting point line. Did you see that? And this is the shoulder slope for the back and armhole. This is shoulder slope for the front and the armhole. I just like connected it here. We are going to start with the front part. So from this place now, from this point, okay, let me just go ahead and divide this pattern into 2 equal parts. This is 20. So I'm going to divide it in 2 equal parts. As you can see, this is what I have. I divided it in 2 equal parts now, 10 inches. So the last thing is to mark my vertical measurement for the front. So for the front, you want to start from here, which is your shoulder line, and then you want to go ahead and mark the bust point line, your bust point line. Mark the person's bust point line, which is here. Then mark the person's on the bust measurement, which is here, and also mark the person's waistline, that is from shoulder to the front waistline. So we are marking from the shoulder to the bust point, shoulder to the under bust, and shoulder to the front waistline, because we have a back waistline. There is always a difference between your front and back waistline, so you can go ahead and measure yourself. I will show you the video on how to get your front and back waistline. So to get your front and back waistline, you want to just grab an elastic band or a piece of or a rope, tie it on the tiniest part of your waist, just like what you see me doing, and then go ahead and measure from the shoulder to the front waistline. Whatever thing you have, you mark, and also measure from the shoulder to the back waistline. So that is how you get your front and back waistline. So from the video, you will see there is difference between the front and back waistline because of the bust at the front. The bust at the front tend to add to your front waistline. So you want to go ahead and get your front waistline and also get your back waistline. Then I'll go ahead and roll this line. So here I have the bust point, I have the under bust, I have the waistline for the front. The next thing we want to do is to mark the back, like just to mark the vertical measurement of the back. You want to go ahead and mark your bust point, line at the back. There is no bust points at the back, but we normally mark the line, you know, just to be easier for us. So the bust point line, and then you want to mark your back waistline. So for this person, the front waistline is 16 inches, the back waistline is 14.5. So the difference between her front and back waistline is 1.5 inches. So we want to go ahead and mark the person's back waist measurements. So after marking, you want to go ahead and double bust point and the waistline for the back, right? So the difference between the front and back waistline is 1.5 inches. Don't worry, we are going to be aligning them together. Just pay close attention to see how we're going to be doing that. So the next thing is to come to the under bust and mark half of your bust span measurement, or the person's bust span measurement. you want to go ahead and mark the person's bust span measurement. You connect half of it. You mark on the under bust, waistline, and the bust point. So this is what we have. So you want to go ahead and contour the under bust. So you can use 1.5, you can use 2 inches. So let's go ahead and use 2 inches. Let's mark 1 inch here, 1 inch here on the under bust, and on the waistline let's mark 1 inch here and 1 inch here, and then we'll go ahead and connect like this. Having connected like that, from the bust point you want to come down by either half inch or 3/4 of an inch. So let us come down by half inch, 3/4 of an inch, just to create space at that bust point line. Then you go ahead and connect like this. To connect this part, you keep your curve ruler like this and connect. So this is what we have. We are done with this point. So the next thing is to come to my armhole for the front. Sorry, for the front now. You want to go up by 3 inches for the front armhole, 3 inches, and then go inwards by 3/4 of an inch for the front now. Then mark 1/4 of your bust measurement here, and then you want to go ahead and connect like this. So basically this is what we have. So this is actually very simple. So the next thing you want to do is to get the midpoint here like this and connect to the bust point. You connect to the bust point. So the next thing you want to do is to measure the neckline, how you want your queen and neckline to be. You can use, depending on how you want it. From here you can come down by 6.5, 7 inches, 6 inches, depending on how you want it to be. For me, I'll be coming down by 6.5 inches here, and with my curve ruler I want to go ahead and connect. You know what you want to achieve for your neckline. So from the bust point you can decide to, depending on how deep you want the neckline to be, you can come up from the bust point by 1 inch, which is somewhere here, and then connect this point. It all depends on the neckline you want for yourself. Then you want to start from here and connect like this. So basically this is how I want my neckline to be. Did you see? So the next thing is to contour the over bust. I'm going to be using 1.5 inches to contour the over bust. So if you're on the medium size or a slim person, you can use 1.5. If you're on the plus size, you can use 2 inches. So towards this side I'm going to be taking half an inch, and towards this side I'll be taking 1 inch, making it a total of 1.5 inches, half inch, 1 inch. And then from the bust point you also want to come up by half an inch. If you came down by half an inch, you will come up by half an inch, and then you want to go ahead and connect. So this is how you connect. So you want to check from this point to this point. I have it as 3.5, and then check from this point to this point. You can see this side is longer than this side, so you want to take this one up, like extend it up. So you want to extend it up to avoid shorting, so that by the time you measure from here to here and here to here, you will have the same thing. So let's measure, and then you do it for this side as well. So we have the same thing, so you can link it back to the neckline like this. So this is what we have. So I'll use my marker pen to highlight it for you to see it very well. You also want to use this curve ruler and blend in the sparks like this. Also blend in the sparks as well. So this is what we have. So for the queen and neckline, you want to come here. You can use 2.5, you can use 3 inches. For me, I'll be using 3 inches for the neckline there, width. So you mark 3 inches like this. Did you see? Once you are done marking, from here you connect to this point. From here you connect to this point. That's very simple, right? So you connect to this point. That's very simple. Did you see? So I'll use my marker pen to highlight it. So this is what we have as our Queen Anne neckline. So this is how it's going to be. The thing you can do to avoid gaping, you can come up by 0.25 inch here, just 0.25 here, just to avoid gaping. Just 0.25 is okay to avoid gaping, and then you want to cut off that part, just 0.25 inch. From here you want to measure your bust circumference, which is here. You can come here and add back this dart intake, which is ½ inch. You mark it like this. Please don't add back this. Please don't add it. If you add back this here, you are going to have too much excesses. Please take note of that. If you add back this part, you are going to have too much excesses around there. Trust me, this is not going to be shorting anything. This is a gaping dart, and a gaping dart, you don't add it back. Take note of that. You can either use 1.5 or 2 inches if you're on a plus size. Don't add it back, please. If you add it back, you will have excesses. So this is a gaping dart, and it will not stop anything, because once you alter your neckline or your basic bodice block, once you alter it beyond what it should be, just like this, is going to gape, and that gaping is called excesses. That excesses is what we have taken out, and we're not adding it back. Please take note, no need of adding this back. You can come to the chest line, measure your chest line, and add whatever excess you have, which I've already added ½ inch. That is the dart intake I have, and I've added it to this point. So that is what you need to do. And then on the under bust, you want to go ahead, mark the person's under bust measurement, which is here, and add back your 2 inches dart. For the waistline, you want to also mark the person's waistline circumference, 1/4 of it, and then add back the 2 inches dart like this. You want to go ahead and connect everything together. So this is the center front, and this is the side seam for the front. If you check now, the front side seam is longer than the back side seam. This is where the back seam stops, and this is where the front seam stops. So the difference between the back and the front is 1.5 inches. So we want to come to the bust point line here and mark the 1.5 inches as a dart, which is called the bust dart technique. And then you want to take it to the bust dart like this. Bust points. So let me mark here so it's visible for you to see. So from the bust point line, we came down by 1.5 inches. If the difference between your front and back waistline is 0.5, 1 inch, 2 inches, you come here and mark it. So for this one is 1.5. From the bust point line, I came down by 1.5 and I've connected like this. So this part will be cut off, and by the time we cut it off, the two side seam will align together. So we are done with the front part. So for the back, on the waistline, you want to mark your dart, half of your nipple to nipple measurements. On the bust point also, you mark your dart of 1 inch. You can also use 1.5. Mark ½ inch on both sides like this, and then you connect to the bust point. So the back is actually very simple, and then you connect like this. So on the back waistline, you want to do your back tightening. You can go inward by 1 inch or ½ inch. So just come inward by ½ an inch and connect my back tightening like this. So if you're a plus size, please, you can stop somewhere here. Don't take it to the top like this. You can stop somewhere here if on a plus size. Then you want to remark your zipper allowance of 1/2 inch. Is 1/2 inch I added as my zipper allowance, and I'll go ahead and remark it. So the next thing to do is on your waistline, starting from this point, please, not excluding the bust, the zipper allowance. Starting from this point, you mark half of your waist circumference and add your 1 inch for that. And on the, sorry, let's take our armhole circumference. So you get the midpoint of your armhole. For the back, front, we came up by 3 inches from the chest line, but for this you divide into 2 like this. You divide it into 2 and go inward by 1/2 inch. For the front, we went inward by 3/4. For the back, we are going inward by 1/2 inch. So you mark your, starting from your initial line, the initial line we made, you mark 1/4 of your bust circumference. Then you go ahead and connect your armhole circumference like this. And then you connect from the bust line to the waistline. So you can see the back is almost, we are almost through with the back. The next thing is to take the neckline for the back. So if from here you want to come down 1.5, and then we are using our 3.5 inches, which is here, and then you connect your neckline for the back. Trust me, you can use any neckline of your choice. So if you want to create a yoke, let's say I want to create a yoke. So let me just show you. I want to have a yoke here. So let's see, you can come down from here, depending on how you want the yoke to be, by 1.5, which is here. Come down by 1.5. This is me trying to create a yoke, and for the yoke here, I came down 6.5, right? So let's measure from the armhole. Here is around 5.58, 5.75, sorry. You want to also have the same. This is if you want to have a yoke. This is optional. So I'm assuming you want to have a yoke. You can leave your back like this, but if you want a yoke, you can go ahead and do just what you see me doing now. Go ahead and, you know, create a yoke like this. Did you see that? And then you want to take your dart up like this. So taking our dart up is just to avoid gaping. You can see that. You take your dart up. That is our yoke. You can also leave it like this. You want to style your yoke, we can as well, you know, come like this and connect to this point. That is if you want to style your yoke. From the neckline, I came down by 1.5 inches and I want to connect. You can actually leave your yoke like this if you want. You want to add extra to it, you can put your curve like this and connect like this, depending on how you want your yoke to be. So this is what we have, and this is our yoke. This is the center back. This is the side seam for the back. So we want to go ahead and cut. Just watch me as I cut. So let me just show you the parts that will be cutting out. This part will be cut out. Go over to our cutting. You slit to the bust point like this. So when you have slit to the bust point, you want to go ahead and close from this point to this point. So this is how you pick it like this. And you match it to this point. Like this. Trust me, this is simple to do. You can use your masking tape or your pin to hold it down. And then you want to redraw here because it's no longer aligning together. So you want to go ahead and redraw here. Like remark it again. Like this. And then we continue our cutting. So after we are done cutting, this is what we have. I believe you enjoyed this video. This is me trying to align everything together, and then the side seam, the two side seam now aligns together. After closing up the bust dart, the two side seam now aligns together. So this is exactly what we have. Hope you enjoyed this video. So thank you for watching to this very moment. If you have not given this video a big thumbs up, I don't know what you are still waiting for. Kindly do that now. Just please do that now. Give this video a big thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.